What was that? Say hi, say hello, drop in down in the comments below. I wanted to come on and do an impromptu showing. Now, I was having some challenges yesterday when I wanted to do a Facebook Live. Make sure you can hear me. I'm going to actually see if I can hear myself shortly. Let's see. I think I can hear. Say hello, drop in, get on. Woo! All right. I can hear myself. Listen, we're going to talk about the death business today. I'm just coming on here impromptu. It's really, really impromptu. It's just an observation I've been making, and I think we need to have a conversation about it. Make sure you share this video. Normally, I share things from my Facebook page, but some of you haven't gone over there to LA Super Agent, like the page yet, so I suggest you do so now. I just really wanted to have a conversation with y'all, you know, none of the fancy green screen and music and all this stuff, because this is a real serious conversation that I wanted to have. And so I am, you know, I captioned a warning. If you want to call in to have a conversation with me or ask your questions, feel free. You can remain anonymous. I just feel like it's important that we have this conversation about what I'm seeing when it comes to real estate property. Two things we're going to cover today is estate planning, so probate. I actually just called in a property where the homeowner has 6 properties and they are going to go to probate. They're going to go through probate. I've been watching one in the last 4 months, and I found out that one of them was listed. And so I've been like, you know me, I do my work, my detective work to attempt to locate the seller, the owner, or if it's listed. And so it worked out in my favor that I've been watching it. And one of the deceased owner's properties just listed 3 days ago. And so I reached out to the agent and I said, listen, I just really want to have an upfront conversation with you. My clients are interested in one of her other properties. And so here's why we need to have this conversation, because we're talking about 5 properties that are going to go through probate. You hear me? Cinco properties are going to go through probate. What does that mean? I recently have been hanging out at probate court, and you know, the judge there has been pretty cool, but I'm just watching attorneys litigate sides when it comes to the administration, who's the heir, who gets what. And guess what? All that litigation adds up to billable hours. And I appreciate that the judge said something about, listen, and she said this to the attorney. So hold on, let me just caption this real quick. I call this the death business. Say hi, say hello again, once again, if you're chiming in. And let's just have a really upfront and honest conversation about this stuff, y'all, because it is really sad for me. And I have to say this because I'm getting more and more phone calls about administration, about probates, about beneficiaries and heirs. And so let me slow it down. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I trust you're having a productive Saturday. I just want to come on here and love on you and let you know what I'm seeing and share with you what I'm experiencing in the business of real estate. So let's go back and let's talk about, you know, the death business. And we're not talking about selling funeral plots, and we're not talking about pre-needs. The death business in real estate is actually the probate sales, which there are tons of them. Why? Because families don't do the simple thing, which is do the estate planning. You know when is the best time to plan for who gets what property, who gets your cash accounts, who gets your brokerage accounts, who gets your fancy car, who gets your beautiful artwork, who gets the china cabinet. And do you know the best time to talk about that is when you are alive? That's the time you want to talk about it. It is when you are alive. Please make sure you go ahead and share this video. Um, and so now I'm going to walk you through some real life scenarios, and of course I'm leave people's information out to keep it confidential, of course, and respect the confidentiality. I just want to share that, and I really wish some of my clients would be open to sharing their experiences so we can really learn about it, and we can learn something. Because as I see people go through the sale of the property from family that have not done the estate planning, you think we charge, and we as brokers charge a high commission. Do you know the court already sets what the commission is for the probate estate, what the attorneys charge? And depending on the estate, you're talking about 10%, 12%. That's fixed by a court of law. That's fixed by court of law. So I guess when you hear me talk about, if you hire me to represent you and I talk about 5%, 6%, shouldn't feel too bad, because when you probate an attorney, that's 10%, 12% of the value of the estate. The stuff adds up. So I wanted to make it a point that on February 29th, 2020, Lisa said, and I'm not giving you legal advice, okay, full disclaimer and disclosure. For those of you who are new to me, I am a licensed active California real estate broker. I'm a public educator and creator and founder of many cool things that you can check more out at my page at LA Super Agent. Again, at LA Super Agent or at LASuperAgent.com. If you have a specific scenario as I'm talking about this and you want to connect with me, feel free to do so. Okay, I'm here for that. And so I'm reaching out to you because this is serious, y'all. We have a generation that is aging and dying. We have a generation that is aging and dying. A generation that is making that transition. And this is just a part of life. But why is this so significant right now? Why does this even matter right now? This matters right now because one of the largest demographics in the nation, our baby boomers, are aging. That's them impacting the real estate industry, the healthcare industry, the job market. With that being said, we have this demographic that owns property, and we've seen bills put into play to encourage baby boomers to make that transition from their property to maybe downsize or move into retirement homes and still keep their low property taxes as a way to encourage them to move to I'm looking to find a way to say open up the inventory to the next generation, right? Gen Xers, Gen Y, and then eventually Gen Z, right? And then whatever else alphabet they're going to start adding for the next generation. With that being said, seriously, I made a phone call this afternoon to an agent who is holding the administration, who is handling the administration of one property. And I've been following this particular owner for the last couple months because I wanted access to one of the other properties. And I see that this owner owned multiple properties. And so I've confirmed today that the owner has transitioned, the owner is deceased, and her entire estate is going to go through probate. And she has a total of four, has a total of 5 properties. All right. So a total of 5 properties going through the estate. And with 5 properties going through the estate, what I see in court, when I show up in court, for one of 2 reasons. I show up in court either there because I'm there for a client's case, and I show up because I'm wanting to observe what is happening with the legalities in terms of court. Okay. And, you know, depending on what judge you get, I mean, this judge that I've been observing in the court, in probate court, has been really cool with her cases. I really like this judge, actually. I like the way she handles the attorneys and handles. And one thing that stuck out, you know, and I mean, this is for me an observation of a judge with a heart, as she's dealing with managing or making decisions regarding the administration of these probate cases. One thing that stuck out to me is, as the 2 attorneys for each side, meaning there's an heir contesting the will, there's, you know, another trustee that is being disinherited of their interests. And so that's real. Okay. So disinherited of being, you know, disinheritance is real, and, you know, fraud and contesting. And, you know, even if you have a will, now the court has to make sense of what you wrote. And I remember hearing this a while back from an attorney years ago. And the attorney said sometimes people can create more of a mess when they make up their own will. They create more of a mess for the court and everybody else to try to make sense of what your intent is. And so this is why, this is me encouraging you to go ahead and get your estate planning done, do the living trust, put the property in the living trust, etc. If not that, there's other ways in terms of, right, having other people, adults on title, but make sure that when you add an adult on title, if they have transitioned, that you're adding someone else, because if you don't add someone else, you don't have a living trust, then your property, when you die, ends up in probate. So I say all that to say that it's been a really interesting observation, and just kind of what's happening, at least in my realm of things, is I'm getting a lot of phone calls coming from heirs who are not privy to the maintenance and the management of the properties that they've inherited. And now they're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they're in financial hardship. There's different challenges with situations depending if there's tenants who are occupying these properties. It definitely creates a mess for someone who's never owned property, and then they inherit a property for the first time. And depending if they are a very young heir or beneficiary to an estate, you know, if they're 18 or 20, 25, and grandpa has left them a portfolio of properties, and they have no team, no guidance to help them manage these properties, what do you think happens? That legacy in which family had worked for ends up getting lost. And this is a story that is all too common right now. And it makes me flustered as a professional and as an activist and as an advocate for real estate education, because the information's out there, resources out there. And I want to first say, I want to thank you for those of you who refer clients to me because you trust me and because of the integrity in which I operate in my business and how I do things. Because when I have the conversations with individuals regarding their estate, whether they're heir, beneficiary, or now there's a probate administration that needs to take place, I'm finding that before talking to me, if they've come to me by way of a referral, they've been talking to other people who have been really out to get them in by way of scams or, finagle and doing the flim flam. The flim flam is real out here. Anyway, I don't want this to be me venting. I don't want this to be me venting. This is me checking in on a Saturday afternoon with you because I am working. And I'm just going through, like I said, I'm just going through property profiles. I'm going through listings. I'm going through off-market stuff. I'm looking for developers that I work with. I'm looking for investors that I work with. I mean, and I've got to bring TJ on the show. We'll do a segment because it's not that there's a shortage of inventory. There isn't, because there are a significant amount of vacant properties sitting on the market. There are a significant amount of properties that need to be probated that are going to soon hit the market. And as again, we deal with one of the demographics that is aging and transitioning and dying. And that's why I said, this is warning. This is a sensitive conversation. And of course, this is me not casting upon anybody to lose any loved one. But we've seen, and me personally, I know of 20 people that died by the time we hit mid-February 2020. I know personally of 20 people that have died, and that is a very high number that I've never experienced that in my life. And I've seen other people make the same observation of, wow, what is going on? What is going on? There's so many people passing away. That should be a huge wake-up call in terms of, you don't know when you're next. You don't know when your time is going to be called, when your card's going to be pulled, or your number is going to be called up, which means have your financial house in order. I've got I can refer you to estate planning attorneys if you need one. There's another great platform that's really inexpensive that you can set one up that I think is great. I'm not going to put them out publicly here, but if you are interested in learning more, feel free to DM me and contact me, and I'll give you that information. But I just wanted to come on and share with you that, this is serious business, and it is the death business. Because if you just take a field trip, if you will, and go sit in probate court and see the list of cases on the court calendar that have to deal with probate administration or trust sales, etc. I anticipate that this demographic that is aging and is the largest demographic, by the way, that owns property, there is that turnover that we're starting to see happen. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm not on here to rant, but if you want to drop a comment, say hi, say hello, or you want to call in, have a conversation, feel free. You want to share your experience, feel free. I'd love to have you on and just talk about, because when we get to share our experiences, we empower other people to learn. And when you know better, you do better. The onus is on us and the responsibility is on us to do that. All right. Like I said, I just came on here impromptu. I'm not streaming from my profile page, which I hardly ever do, but I felt like some of you guys need to hear this because you're playing. Stop playing. All right. Pull your money together. $1,500, $1,800, $3,000, or even $150. Okay. And I've got a great connect just to get your living trust going for a very low, inexpensive price, because it's so important if you own property and, you are of sound mind. Now, let me say this. If you have a parent who is aging, or if you have a parent, grandparent who is aging, and they no longer are in sound mind, they may have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, do know you will have to seek getting a conservatorship over that parent or grandparent. The court has to order conservatorship. I also do get those phone calls that says, hey, my mom's got early signs of dementia, Alzheimer's, we want to go ahead and sell our house. Great. Are you on title? No, it's mom's house. It's in her name. Great. We can't do that. You cannot just sell somebody's property when they are now losing their mental capacity. You cannot do that. And I'm saying this loud as possible for those of you who come across a scenario and you're calling real estate professionals and saying, I want to sell, so-and-so's property now because they're going to move with me and they need to, they need help and they need the care and support. You cannot do that. That has to be court-ordered conservatorship giving you access to that, okay? All right, and there's much more. There's a whole bunch of other things involved with that, like power of attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. So advanced care healthcare directives. I mean, this is serious stuff. All right, that's my time. With that, I say, have a powerful and productive day. I'll see you next time. Bye.